All right, so
Yeah.
we're just going to pretend that there's not all of this damage. Let's just say you just had these few cracks here.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see that real well, but there's some cracks in there. And
Yeah.
this is black, but because most cords are black on your necky, unfortunately it's green, but you can get them, I think, in white and black. And it's kind of goopy. It looks like tar.
Okay.
And there is a brush, and you can do it. It's nice. It's easier to control than it looks, but all you're going to do is kind of paint it on there, and you want it to be thick enough that it's going to cover, like fill in those crevices. Here, let me get it closer for you if I can. Actually, I'm gonna move down here. So you want it to be thick enough that it'll feel like fills in the crack. You just don't want any bare wires, you know, that you're going to come in contact with. And so you can do a couple coats, but it's going to be kind of like a rubbery finish when it's done. And it's gonna settle into those crevices. Now that's going on a little thick for me. So then I always just have some Q-tips nearby to kind of take a little
smooth it out.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's kind of a weird material. There are a little bit of fumes in it. I don't have any problem using it in closed spaces, but if you have asthma or anything, I would be very, cautious of that.
Okay. But I don't, but
yeah. And then usually I just let it sit and dry, and it says on here, let's see.
The writing is so small.
It really is. I'm sitting here trying to read it myself. It says to allow it a minimum of 4 hours to dry, which is a good rule. If you can set it up somewhere and just let it sit, because you're going to want to rotate it over to the back side again, and just make sure you cover like all your bases. It's usually dry enough to the touch to do that within about 30 minutes, where you can at least just turn it over, and apply some. But then I would let it sit for a couple hours to fully set.
That's no problem for me.
I love this stuff though. This stuff is great.
Yeah, because actually the one little piece that, well, actually it does look like a little bit of the wire is exposed, but it's just kind of like a skimming of the covering.
That's the perfect application for it. Where you don't want to use it is, you can see this big gap in the wiring here, and it is cracked all the way up and down. This to me is definitely not worth the attempt. It's going to take Paul 20 minutes to switch out the electrical on it. That's much easier when it's this bad. And actually those are technically coated wires, but I still don't think I would take that chance. Most of them are not coated like this. They're going to be copper on the inside. So if it's like, I see that a lot where it's kind of like shaved off on somewhere that it's like sheared and you see the wiring or cracks. If you had just this part here, like these here, this would be fine. It's these big gaps where it's actually, this is actually flaking off.
Oh yeah, those wires were toast.
Yeah, they were. And not uncommon when they've been sitting, because they do get brittle.
Well, I think especially the necky, I read a lot of comments about that in other forums, and they say that the wiring on some of the older neckies is just not.
Yeah, they are.
Not good.
I don't know. It just depends on each brand. And we've kind of gotten to know over the years what brands cause more issues. And neckies definitely deteriorate. The Singer 1591s and the 201s definitely, right at the motor, at the potted motor, for some reason, even when the machine's immaculate, been cared for, been in like a controlled environment, the wiring on that just is so brittle. And I don't know why.